So we have the Nitecore TINI, 3 full level, and there's the turbo mode. This thing is just incredibly bright. This little tiny light, it's amazing. At almost 400 lumens. Hey guys, what's going on? So I have a, so I have the Nitecore TINI. This is actually called the TINI by Nitecore. It's a 380 lumen pocket beast. Of course, it's a keychain light as well. It has a built-in 280 milliamp lithium-ion battery. It's USB chargeable. Obviously, this thing is actually very small, a lot smaller than I thought it was. Of course, you have your specs over here: 380 lumens, 60-hour runtime, 64 meter distance, intensity of 1020 CD, impact resistant 1.5 meters, and IP54. I'm not really familiar with IP54. All I know is IP1 through 8, or 1 through 7, 1 through 8. So I don't really know exactly what IP54 is. All right, so the package, well, this one's obviously got, this one's obviously the metallic one, but you have different color choices over here. You have yellow, green, blue, sorry, it's backwards. Yellow, green, blue, red, brown, black, or metallic, which is funny because the package actually says metallic, but yet the brown is circled. So that's kind of interesting. Cree XB G2 S3 emitter. So there's not really a whole lot of, well, not really a whole lot of modes, which is great. Now there's one issue that could possibly come up in the future. I don't know. The battery, just like on the TIP, is an integrated battery. It's a proprietary integrated battery that is pretty much, built into the light itself. And so over the course of 2 or 3 or 4 years, when this battery starts to deteriorate and it doesn't work anymore, it doesn't hold a charge, then essentially the flashlight is actually trashed. You can't really use the light anymore unless you want to take the parts out and salvage it and make something else. I don't know, but if you're not into that kind of stuff, then the light is technically trashed. You have this awesome light that is only going to last as long as the battery lasts, as far as longevity is concerned. So kind of an interesting, not interesting, but kind of an issue could possibly come up in the future. I don't know. But since the light only retails for about 30 bucks, it doesn't really make much of a difference, I guess. So I used to, I'm more or less a big time, 2, 3, 4,000 lumen flashlight kind of person. I don't really like small lights like this, but I thought this was kind of cool. Now, obviously you have the 2 switches here. You have the mode switch and you have the on-off switch. And this little cone thing right here is obviously for display, for testing. If you hold down the top mode switch button, if you hold it down for a couple of seconds, it's basically just a, instant turbo mode. Some of the stuff says in the back. You got 4 brightness levels. I'll show you guys that in a second. 280 milliamp lithium-ion battery. Now keep in mind, this thing is probably half the size of the TIP or TIP. But remember, the battery on the tip is 500 milliamp hours, so this is a little bit bigger than half the size of the TIP battery that is built into the TIP. Now the output is pretty much the same on both of those particular lights, but the intensity is a little higher on the TIP since the reflector is a little bit bigger and it's a smooth reflector, and this one's more of a beaded design is what they call it, I guess. Anyways, so it's kind of got that beaded, it's a beaded surface on the reflector, so it's a very floody light. I think it'd been a little cooler if Nitecore came up with a different name than TINI. However, it is very tiny, so I guess that makes sense. It just sounds funny. Got the Nitecore TINI. TINI what? It's the TINI. Here's the charge port. Thought this was kind of funny. Flashlight is so small that they didn't really put the charge thing in the package with it. This is the actual charge cable that it came with. It doesn't look like the charge cable that it came with, so I'm kind of confused. I don't see how they would, I don't see how they would include this giant roll of USB for this little tiny light. And this came with it though, so I don't know. I personally don't think this is a Nitecore product. I don't even know where this came from. It came with it, so that's kind of interesting. I would think they're going to put something for rechargeable. It would be in the box with it. But anyways, here's how small it is. So here I have a little light that's basically the size of a USB, basically a thumb drive. You put music on in your car or something like that. So I'm going to show you guys in size comparison how small the actual, light is. So now you can see just how small it actually is. I mean, this thing is tiny. Oh, tiny. Okay. Now I know why they call it TINI. It doesn't come with much. Comes with instructions, warranty card. I never use the warranty cards, but they do include them. Here's the keychain, the little clip that it goes on. I have that. Of course, you have the instruction manual here. I can take this out of here. All right, so you have the instruction manual. English, Espanol, Dutch, Francis, Payak Livit, Young what? Romana. You have in Russian. Let me go back to the American. English in here somewhere. All right, so here is, of course, your modes. Basically, the two modes, or the three modes of constant, well, the three modes of usual output. I guess are low, 1 lumen for 60 hours. Medium is 38 lumens for 4 hours. High is 145 lumens, and the turbo mode is 380 lumens. This thing is insanely bright. It really is. Now, the cool thing is, I'm going to show you guys the interface. It's quite simple. Basically, hold down the power switch, and it will go into your last mode. So it does have mode memory. That is great. So you hold it down, and I had it on the low mode. Now, the really cool thing about this is it does not use PWM. It is a current-driven light, so there's no pulse width modulation, none of that annoying pulsing that you see. So to cycle through your modes, of course, I'll go ahead and turn it off. Hold down the power button, basically turns it off. I think you can just press the power button and it turns it off too. So we'll hold it down. It's back into low mode. I think if you just press it once, it turns off. So that's your power mode. Hold it down. There's your low mode. It'll cycle through with the mode change button on top. So it's low, medium, high, oh, sorry, I forgot. Turbo is only accessed while it's off, so you can't memorize the turbo mode. So low, medium, and high. And like I said, it's just incredibly bright. It really is. Low, medium, high. There's no strobe. I don't believe there's a strobe on here. So low, medium, high. Now we're going to put it back on low, basically turn it off. And to get into your strobe mode, or not strobe mode, your turbo mode, from off, you just hold down the mode switch button for as long as you want, and there is your turbo mode, which is nearly twice the output. So, and I'll show you guys outside in a beam shot video. I'm sure I'll do one of those later on so you can see how incredibly bright this thing is. But it is very floody, but it is very bright. Close to 400 lumens, I would definitely say that it is. Got a lot of other lights that are close to 400 lumens, and it definitely easily matches those. So here's your USB charge port right here. Of course, takes the micro USB. Basically just charge it there. So yeah, that's basically your modes. It's very, very lightweight too. This thing is incredibly lightweight. It's actually about as light as a thumb drive, really. So once again, power button, press and hold, goes into your last mode used. And then cycle through your modes. You hit the mode switch button on top, low, medium, high, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. So we'll do that and we'll turn it off. And then your instant turbo mode, the mode switch button, just hold it down. So now to check the remaining, basically the battery indicator, to check your remaining amount on the battery, you basically just from off press the mode switch button just once, and 1, 2, 3. So 3 is full, 2 is I think between 30 and 50%, and 1 is I think 10%. So it's flashing 3 times, so the battery is full. So yeah, that's basically just a quick review of the Nitecore TINI. This thing's actually literally twice as bright as my Streamlight Enduro headlamp, and it's like 4 times smaller. Door open there. So we got low, medium, high, low, medium, high, and then turbo.